Hey, folks, this is Andrew Bennett with InsuranceThatFits.com, where we fit the need and we fit the budget. Today, I've got some news about legislation that may impact Medicare, um, and that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to share my screen here. I've put together a little presentation, and bada bing, bada boom, there we go. And so we're just going to take this from the beginning. Boom. Okay, now this isn't going to be the traditional advantages or disadvantages of Medicare Advantage plans. I'm going to look at it from a different perspective. Really, we're talking about what is the cost of Medicare Advantage plans, and I mean that by to the government and ultimately to us as taxpayers. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, now the industry would have you believe that Medicare Advantage actually saves money and delivers better outcomes. So here's some evidence based on a study that Medicare Advantage costs the government less, therefore the taxpayers less, that it delivers um, additional value. Now, it may come as no surprise that that study was funded by United Healthcare, one of the Medicare Advantage companies. So if we look at other research, a contrasting opinion can be found. There were two researchers from the University of Southern California that show Medicare Advantage cost much more, 22% more, than traditional Medicare. And when you multiply that 22% by millions and millions of people that are enrolled, it's a large number of tax dollars. Now, let's go back to the industry itself. Are there any companies that are making, say, strategic moves to align themselves more closely with Medicare Advantage? And look no further than Humana. This is an article on the American Journal of Managed Care. This is back in 2023. They reported how Humana is leaving behind its commercial business and focusing on government funded programs being Medicare, Medicaid, and the military. Now, most of the business that Humana has is with Medicare. As of the writing of that article, this is from that article. Humana had 8.7 million Medicare members. Half of those, more than half, 5.1 million, were in Medicare Advantage plans. So, if Medicare Advantage plans were not incredibly profitable, would Humana have made this decision? If Medicare Advantage plans cost us taxpayers less than traditional Medicare, then where would all that profit come from? Or could it be that they really are more expensive for the government and for taxpayers? Healthcarebrew.com reported on an official government study. This was an official government study, not a healthcare brew study. The study was done by MedPAC. Now, MedPAC is an independent congressional agency. It was created back in the 1990s to give congressional representatives input and advice on Medicare related issues. So this study shows that Medicare Advantage will cost $84 billion more than traditional Medicare in 2025. Um, so that's, again, more expensive. Another article published on kff.org in 2021 also shows that Medicare Advantage plans tend to overbill for sicker patients. So part of the problem is how these plans are funded. They're funded in a way that makes them more expensive in the first place, but then the plans are overbilling as well. So why am I telling you this? Because there's a movement afoot to make Medicare Advantage the default choice when people go into Medicare. Now, right now, the default choice is traditional Medicare. That is the less expensive options for a less expensive option for taxpayers. This is page 465 of Project 2025. Bullet point number one is to quote, make Medicare Advantage the default enrollment option. There you go. I made it bigger for you. Make Medicare Advantage the default enrollment option. And right now, in front of Congress is HR, that stands for House of Representatives, HR 3467. It's a proposal to quote unquote reform the Medicare Advantage program. Now, here's some of the text. As you can see, it provides that the Secretary of HHS incredible power to determine which plans get enrollment. That would mean which plan you are enrolled in is impacted by the decision of an unelected political appointee. It goes on to say that while the Secretary has to define an opt out provision, it doesn't give me more detail on that opt out provision. The opt out provision could be from the Advantage plan you're automatically enrolled in only to another Advantage plan. Who knows? Again, the creation of the opt out can change whenever the Secretary of HHS changes. Now, the very next provision in this bill says you have to stay in the plan at least for 3 years before you can transfer to a different Medicare Advantage plan or go back to traditional Medicare. That's kind of nuts. Now, at the bottom, it also provides what I guess you'd call it a parachute, supposedly, I think, for the enrollee, but it clearly benefits the Medicare Advantage plan company. This section provides an exception for people who have a serious illness, which really makes no sense at all. It's saying that the Medicare Advantage plans have to cover you if you're well, but if you have a serious illness, you can go to traditional Medicare. Now, obviously, if that happens, the financials of traditional Medicare are going to look disastrous because they're only going to be insuring sick people, or at least a disproportionate number of sick people. Now, this piece of legislation gets even richer because there is what's called a stop loss payment. This is basically a bailout, if you will, for any Medicare Advantage plan that isn't profitable or maybe even not profitable enough. So this idea of making Medicare Advantage the default option when it's pretty clear that Medicare Advantage costs us more is really a financially unwise decision. Now, possibly contrary to what you've heard, most every country out there, I've looked at a number of countries all through Europe, some countries in Asia, virtually every country has a combination of government run, nonprofit, and for profit health insurance and or health care. Okay. Remember, one's kind of the insurance, how they get paid, the other is how care is provided. And virtually every country has all three: government run, nonprofit, for profit. However, in America, we just have the most expensive combination because we prioritize for-profit healthcare over nonprofit or government run. Now, I don't know that I can do anything about that, but I can let you know about this piece of legislation. And I hope you understand how harmful it will be if it gets passed. Right now, it doesn't look like it's a priority. Right now, Congress is caught up with the Epstein files and Horseshack and Welcome Back, Cotter and all that stuff. But who knows when they come back if they will take this up. So please be aware of it. And if you're the kind of person who contacts your representative, let them know your feelings about it. Thank you very much. Hope you all have a great afternoon. And if you need any help with your health insurance decisions or your Medicare decisions, I do hope you'll give me a call. Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon.